proposals. A 180 million rand security wall along the N2 near the airport. The city argues this is a critical safety measure, but for some communities, the wall is a way of hiding poverty rather than solving the root causes of crime.
That has been a big challenge for us. That's called the approach road. That is where people come out from the airport or from the N2 to the airport. That road and that section of the N2 has been in an area where tourists or even people have been targeted, local people have been targeted, bricks thrown at cars, bricks or stones, obstacles put in the way of vehicles. And in order to address that issue, the city has employed and created a unit that works only in that specific area. The traffic department has also got a highway unit. They focus mainly on the N2 and also that R300 section and the section of the airport. So that is how we have reacted. Of course, also the camera system has been put in place. All of those things play a role in bringing down what has been happening.
Well, let's take you back to Cape Town now for a latest update, particularly on that story as Nigo Mhlaba is on the ground. Nigo, just moments ago, you took us on the route exactly where trouble is, and you were driving along a particular route and telling us where could be the hot spots. But you've now bumped into a situation. Tell us what you've come to.
Well, Prativi, actually we had just parked under this particular bridge because there were traffic officers who were, parked here just monitoring this particular stretch of the highways. We see them now driving off. So as we're just catching some breath, then this particular vehicle next to me drove very quickly, approached the traffic officers along the road. You could see that they were very emotional and we was just sitting in the car. So we approached them just to find out what was the issue. They then told us that as they were driving on the other side of the highway, northbound, going towards the city, they were hit. A stone was thrown to their vehicle. So they were coming to report that particular incident to the officers. So as you can see there, that there's a bit of fencing on the other side of that particular road. However, as they were driving around, then a stone was thrown to them. And we just want to give the viewers the mark where this particular car was hit. It was hit here by a stone just on the bonnet. But to get more details now, let's talk to the gentleman. Sir, thank you very much for your time.
This is an absolutely brilliant idea by the DA. And as a DA voter, I absolutely support this. I don't want to see Makaya Licha every time I drive from the airport to Camps Bay. Imagine how the tourists feel when they have to drive down the highway and see shacks. It's absolutely not a good look for us, and I support this. It will absolutely boost tourism. The crime rate will definitely go down. And I have another brilliant idea. I think we should only allow those people from the not so nice side to only come over to our side if they have a book, a pass. Yes, they can have like a pass, and in order to cross over to our side of Cape Town, it has to get stamped. It has to get stamped. You cannot come to Camps Bay from Delft or Philippi without your pass. That is a brilliant idea. And I really hope the DA institutes it, because that is exactly what we vote for.
The City of Cape Town must come clean on its role in the renaming, the rerouting, and the ahistorical date of the Tweede Nuwe Jaar Carnival. It has been renamed Cape Town Street Parade. It is now sponsored by Hollywood Bets. It is now taking place in Greenpoint, and it is not Tweede Nuwe Jaar, it is on the 5th of January. When I was in the City of Cape Town, there were DA MMCs, MACO members, who were desperate to change this historical, decades-old event that is part of Cape Town's heritage and that has existed for decades. They were desperate to change it into something it was not. They harbored animosity towards the event. They were reluctant to fund the event, often threatening to withhold the funding. And now, all of a sudden, the event is renamed. It is not on Tweede Nuwe Jaar, and it is taking place in Greenpoint. There is an argument being made that the organizers wanted it this way. But given the history of the event, and given my own observation of the animosity towards this event by members of the Democratic Alliance leadership, there is no doubt in my mind that the City of Cape Town was involved in this decision. And they need to come clean on whether they are funding the event and what role they played in its complete desecration by changing its name, by changing its date, and by changing its route.
180 million rand on this wall, 250 million rand on this wall, is 430 million rand on walls. They believe that they are going to solve crime by building a wall for 180 million rand. But what about the crime that is happening within our communities? 472 children have been murdered on the Cape Flats, but you think a wall is going to solve the crime crisis? If you earn 300,000 rand a year, let me break it down for you. Look at all these heroes. You earn 300,000 rand a year. You would need to work 1,433 years in a row to reach 430 million rand. That is how insane all of this is. Now look at how we can fight crime through healing our communities with 430 million rand. We can build 6 one-stop GBV survivor hubs where we can protect our women and also increase the convictions that we find off of those who commit GBV. Then we can also put mental health professionals, social workers, psychologists and the like in 100 of our high-risk schools. We can even put up 4 low-barrier drug treatment hubs to help our people get off the street and provide counseling and a pathway to rehab. Then we can also fund rapid response units for GBV. These are entire task teams dedicated to policing GBV. We can even throw in 70 million rand to keep our streetlights on, to make our areas safer, to bring back the walking bus, to do so much more, and still have 50 million rand that the DA would have otherwise spent on walls. The DA City of Cape Town, let me tell you now, I'm going to give you a secret, does not have real plans for us. We can do so much more. So while they continue to push for Cape Town for some of us, let's come together and build a Cape Town for all of us.
Free the Congo, Free Sudan, and boycott the US. So I got this from Sunday Times. The DA-run City of Cape Town is planning on building a 180 million rand wall on the N2, and this is for crime reasons. This very much reminds me of the wall that Trump is trying to build between the US and Mexico. And when I think about it, one of the main reasons Trump was doing that was for access. He wanted to take away the access. Obviously Trump is a Zionist and we know that he is a Zionist, but when I also think about this wall in the city of Cape Town, right? So if you see that they're building the wall alongside the N2, and what is on the other side of the N2 is Bonteheuwel and Langa. For example, if I'm your neighbor and you build a wall between me and yourself, and you're saying that I'm building this wall for crime reasons, what I'm understanding is that I'm protecting myself from you because you're bringing the crime into my area. Not taking into consideration that the people of Bonteheuwel and Langa are also facing their crime. They're also being terrorized by the same people that you're being terrorized by, because they're facing crime. Crime is a general thing in South Africa, right? But instead of dealing with crime in general, what we're going to do is that we're going to put up this wall, and the people on the other side of the wall, they must now just continue to be terrorized by the crime. And then we're going to protect the tourists and everybody that's coming into Rondebosch and the CBD and all of these other nice places, and y'all can just, on the other side of the wall, suffer as you've been suffering. That's how I understand the wall, because is there no other way to deal with the crime but just putting up a massive fence? There must be another way. What must happen to the people in Langa? What must happen to the people in Bonteheuwel? if you put up that wall, what is it that you're communicating to them on the other side, other than you are bringing in the crime into the other side, right?
By now, we've heard about the Great Wall of Cape Town. I'm not going to dive into it too much. It's just very embarrassing that you would spend that amount of money building a wall. Quite honestly, and I don't mean this with any disrespect, but it's giving Gaza Strip 2.0. What's going to happen to the people on the other side of the wall? They're already living in such densely overpopulated circumstances. Now you're basically blockading them. The money is going to something so superficial. Why isn't this money going towards the infrastructure? Building more schools, building better homes, building more businesses. Tourists have been visiting Cape Town for a very, very long time. They know what's going on in the Cape Flat. I don't know what's more embarrassing, the people that's coming to visit Cape Town that wants to actually be on the other side of the wall, or that they're coming to Cape Town knowing what's happening on the other side of the wall. It's kind of pointless building a wall. Quite frankly, you can't put a star on shit. It's still gonna be shit. Yeah, guys, it's Care December outside. Those that can't swim, please don't go there. Don't park the car there. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
180 million for a wall. This isn't preventing crime. This is denial on a budget. We all know a wall stops crime. We all know a wall stops tourists seeing the real Cape Town. What about ladders? Oh no, apartheid ended. Let's build a wall. If walls worked, wouldn't prisons be emptier? 180 million for a wall that could be invested in combating crime. The criminals are going to rock up at the airport and say, hey guys, boys, there's a wall. Let's go home. Because crime respects concrete. The truth is, DA does not want poverty to photobomb tourist departure pictures as they leave the city of Cape Town.
A few moments later. 2,000 years later.
So anyways guys, that's typical DA for you. So instead of like addressing the root causes of crime like jobs and inequality, Cape Town plans to spend 180 million on a wall. So instead, that wall will in turn separate communities, not crime, because crime does not stop at concrete. It grows where people are ignored. The DA party, or the Democratic Alliance Party, says this wall is meant to protect tourists and residents. But safety on separation raises hard questions. Who gets protected and who gets pushed further to the margins? Because tourists do not exist in isolation. They move through living, breathing communities. Walls may look like action, but they do not address the root causes of violence. They do not create opportunities, they do not build trust, and they do not make communities safer in the long run. History shows us that when inequality is blocked off instead of being confronted, it does not disappear, it deepens. South Africa does not just need protection, it needs prevention. It needs leadership that invests in people, not things trying to block people from being protected, like barriers, because really, safety is built through dignity and accountability and opportunity, not isolation. If you think South Africa deserves real solutions, like this video, share it, and subscribe for more stories that matter to you as a citizen of South Africa. So anyways guys, vote for a political party that is meant to boost the country and is meant to help the country succeed and is meant to help the people of that country move forward. But anyways guys, thanks for watching. I hope the video was great. See you in the next video.